Welcome to The Hidden Story, a space for the conversations we don't usually have out loud. I'm your host, Dr. Vassilia, and here we're going to explore real stories of resilience and the moments that shape us. Every life has a hidden story. Let's tell the stories that change everything. All right, well, welcome to The Hidden Story. I'm Dr. Vassilia, and today we have William Freeman. William is a friend of mine, and he is the founder of an amazing organization here in Palm Beach County, Florida called People of Purpose. It's an anti-recidivism organization that helps people that have spent time in prison. So, welcome, William.
Thank you, Mrs. V. How are you doing today?
I am doing amazing today. William, why don't you just tell us all about how you founded People of Purpose and what it does?
So, once again, my name is William Freeman. I'm the CEO and founder of People of Purpose. People of Purpose started out as Man of Purpose while I was incarcerated. In January of 2020, we went from being Man of Purpose because the board thought that, hey, if we're going to speak and help individuals, we might as well help every individual. And People of Purpose came about um, because of the 84 arrests that I had, the four different times me going to prison, me being a 30-year crack addict, as well as 5 years of homelessness. For me to give back to my community, for me for not going back to jail, for me not going back to prison, I know that it's better for me to give back to the community and be part of the community instead of being the effectiveness of the community. So I'm a solutionary than being a problem of the community.
Yeah, that's very amazing. Giving helps people so much. It helps keep us on the right track, keep us in a positive mindset too.
Yes.
So, what does People of Purpose do? Like, say someone is getting out of prison, they don't know what to do. How does People of Purpose help them?
So let me explain to the audience that People of Purpose is a holistic reentry program. So whether you've been out of prison maybe 10 years and you can't pass go, we help you. For those that are getting out of prison within the next 36 months, what we do is we connect you with different resources. We provide you with a brand new pair of clothing. If you need a ride, um, we'll pick you up from prison. And the best thing about what's going on is People of Purpose has a collaborating partner where we have transitional houses that we can take you in. And because of my board, because of the people that surround me, my network, we can give you a scholarship up to 90 days that you don't have to worry about getting out of prison, finding a job, where am I going to stay? So we try to help you with the essential needs when you're walking out of prison doors. Those that have been out of prison and has a place to stay, or um has a roof over their head, or they just can't get a job because of their background. They can't get their IDs. So we help them with essentials of getting them their IDs, getting them all the services that they need to move forward. And as a returning citizen myself, I know the challenges it is going to the DMV or getting the right paperwork. So we even put an escrow account with the county clerk's office where individuals can go and get free documents or a homeless domicile just to go get their identification.
Wow, wow. I heard someone give an interview about being in prison, and he said, how many people forgot about him while he was in there. And when you just said, someone to pick you up from prison, I'm thinking they don't have somebody, they don't have a family member or friend to pick them up. Do you find that that happens a lot?
So 87% of the individuals that we pick up from Okeechobee Correction, Martin Correction, Sago Palm, Moore Haven, or even South Bay Correction, those individuals have burnt bridges going back and forth. So no, they don't have family members, or they have family members that don't want to be a part until they see a better side of them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can understand like some of the hesitancy on the family members, but at the same time, if you're getting out and feel like you don't have anybody and like how do you even know where to start that it doesn't help you stay out of prison?
Well, you know what, V, you just said something very important. So the goal of people of purpose for those that are incarcerated is to educate them while they're incarcerated, not 36 months. I'm like, I try to educate individuals the day they get arrested that, hey, reentry starts right now. You need to focus on what you want to do, whether you get sentenced to prison or not. Where do you want to be within the next 24 hours if the judge say, hey, you're going to be released? So we
Yeah.
try to work with those individuals to let them know, hey, you got to have a plan before you walk out the door.
Yeah, like it starts as early as possible. I mean, I'm imagining a lot of people, they don't know what they are capable of. Like they probably couldn't even imagine what that dream would be and what they actually can do.
You're right. I'm like, look at me. You know, you're talking to somebody that never ever in my life thought that I would be the CEO of a nonprofit organization. Or you never think about me trying to help another individual because I'm selfish. I'm like, I, what I get, I want for myself. But I have learned this right here.
Mm,
Um, by me giving back, it opened the doors for others to give into me. And people don't realize that, I might shed a couple of tears right now, but people don't realize that it take a village, whether it's for kids, whether it's for a returning citizen, or it's just for our community. It take a village to make things happen. And we really need to, especially men and women that's coming out of incarceration, we really need to lean on somebody that has been there, whether it be in financial literacy, whatever it may be. We need to know how to do.
yeah. Yeah, I read a book that was like this. Was actually a book about business, and it was like about how the more you try to get, the less it seems to work. You try so hard, and you seem like you get even less, and then the more you start to give, the more those things start coming back to you.
Yes, it does. And I'm a real believer of that. I'm a real testimony of that. People of purpose started in 2020. We have helped over 800 individuals as of today. Um, Out of those 800 people, only five have returned back to prison.
Wow.
300 of them are supervisors or they're on their own organization or company. So the work it works, but imagine if I was William Freeman walking out of prison doors, didn't give a crap about anybody but myself. How would I be able to say, hey, we're opening the doors of a holistic reentry, the first reentry program
Yeah.
in the Glaze area?
Yeah,
I need everybody.
I'm glad that you mentioned the Glades, and a lot of people listening or watching this, they might not be familiar with the Glades, the western part of Palm Beach County, Belglade, Pahokee, South Bay. These are places that just for the audience, they get forgotten about a lot.
Yes.
There could be a lot of crime. And I think a lot of people in this county don't want to look at that part of the county. So maybe you could tell people, William, like what is it like? What is it like being in the Glades? And I feel being so far away from the other side of Palm Beach County and far away from being able to access a lot of the things, the resources we have here. Like, what is it like being there for a lot of people?
So being in Belglade, so the stigma is that Belglade is not part of Palm Beach County. Well, the Glades is a part of Palm Beach County. We have Belglade, South Bay, Pahokee. Not only that, we're called the Muck because her soil is her fortress, meaning that the black topsoil that we have is the most important thing in Palm Beach County.
Hmm.
We call it black gold. We sh- um Individuals don't understand that we have the beautiful site on the dike over in Pahokee. We can see the whole Okeechobee. Um, Belgrade has all the resources that you can think of for sugarcane, carrots, cabbage, the produce. We have it.
Mm-hmm.
In South Bay, we're just a small city that, we're a family knit area. So individuals that think the stigma is that we're a very rough area, I want you to think about Riviera Beach. I grew up in Riviera Beach.
Mm-hmm.
I might and I moved to Belgrade, found my wife in Belgrade. I would not move back to the East Coast. Um, I know people think that when they ride out to Belgrade, it looked like a third world country. No, it's not. We are a very knitted family. We're very kind at heart. We're the most respectful. Um, well, I can't say we're the most respectful, but I can tell you this right here. You'll be treated just like royalty if you come over there to the Glaze area. Especially if you come over to see people of purpose, you'll be treated like royalty. But it's very lively over there. So I'm gonna say this right here, and this is a known fact. Most NFL players come from the Glaze area.
Yeah.
You have the most NFL players coming out there. And on top of that, people don't realize that People of Purpose just brought the very known sport to the Glaze area, which is pickleball.
That's right.
So we play pickleball every single day over in the Glaze. So come over.
I love that. I used to work out in the Glades a lot. And you're right, the stigma that it has. And but what you're saying, the people, the agriculture,
Yes,
the so much comes out of the Glades that a lot of people take for granted that it's not the stuff they think about when they think about the Glades.
correct.
Yeah. Well, you'd mentioned that you had your own time spending time in prison, kind of being in and out of prison for a long time. Can you tell me kind of like what was the history behind that?
So as I said before, I was a crack addict for almost 30 years. Crack cocaine came in Palm Beach County in 1985. I was a sophomore when it came in. Um, and I think I was probably the first high schooler in Riviera Beach to use crack cocaine. Went to the United States Navy. I couldn't swim. I went to the Navy to get over my fear. Came back home because I couldn't swim, and it just went from one thing to another. And to support my habit, I did everything that I can to support my habit for almost 30 years. The last time in 2015, 16, I went to prison and I said no more.
Yeah.
But I want to say this right here. Even though that's a past, I want people to realize, even with my past, 84 arrests, 4 terms in prison, over 15 years, a 30-year crack addiction. But by the grace of God, I am a Florida certified peer. I can pass a level 2 exempt. And they like, well, what is a Florida certified peer? Well, just like a doctor has a degree or a MD behind his name,
Mhm.
I have a CRRP behind my name. I'm a certified recovery specialist where I can walk hand in hand with individuals with lived experience. So that's what is so important about who I am today.
Yeah, right? You want people to see that even though you've gone through these things and even though you might have made mistakes and even though you might have been the victim of circumstances, that doesn't have to define the rest of your life, and that doesn't mean that you don't have something to offer and that you didn't have something to offer all those years too.
Yes, that's right. So.
What is it that got you started on drugs, on crack? Like, how did that happen?
So as a therapist, um, a person that is very, I don't want to call myself a nerd, but as a nerd growing
It's
up,
okay, I'm a nerd.
as a nerd growing up, um, not smoking weed, not hanging out, drinking around with the other high school teenagers, you want to find out, you want to find something. And the day that I used it, I tried it. it just opened up another aspect of world because I was a quiet person. Um,
It brought you
which
out of your shell, like, in a
yeah,
way.
it took me out from who I used to be,
Yeah.
and it kept that energy. But at when it came down, I became that person again. People ask me today, um, "Am I embarrassed?" No, I'm not embarrassed. I'm
Shouldn't
like,
be.
what? I'm like, why would I be embarrassed? Because if I never experienced it, how can I help somebody else that is going through the same thing?
Yeah. There's nothing to be embarrassed of, those things happen, like, when you're a kid too. Yeah,
Yes.
so it's like you didn't know how to accept yourself for who you were, and then obviously, something external let you be somebody that you thought you wanted to be or thought you should be or other people liked better, and you started doing it, and then the physical, the addiction properties, and then emotionally being tied to it and starting to be dependent on it, and it just started what you said, like a 30-year battle with it.
Yes. Yes. And after I found who I really was and what was the real base cause, um, just to let people know that I, William Freeman, has a speech problem. Um, People don't realize it because I talk too much,
Yeah.
but I had a speech problem, and I was the baby for 3 years before my mom had four other siblings.
Mm.
So imagine getting all the love from your other siblings, and all of a sudden that love is taken away. I felt abandoned,
Mm.
and not saying that I didn't have a good mom and dad, because trust me, I'm like they treated us like we was royalty.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that motherly love
The
that
emotional.
I
Yeah.
right, and it drawed to me and drawed to me, and for 30 years until I really realized what was my behavior problem. Um,
Mm.
that addiction just sat there. But today, I don't have to. I don't have to have mom's um love to make me who I am.
Yeah.
I can look in the mirror and say, "Hey, boy, you're doing a great job. William, you're looking great." So I had to learn that,
Yeah.
and I can tell any person that is struggling, or they have family members that are struggling, what is the base problem behind why they're struggling.
Yes. What is underneath that? And it's not just the things that happen, it's also like the beliefs you have about it, and like you said, how you couldn't make yourself happy before. Now that happiness comes from within.
Right.
Yeah. You're talking about the 80s and crack. And obviously we know in so many American cities what crack did in urban areas in the 80s. Um, what do you think about that? How much of it was tied to trauma and things that people went through?
I believe, you know, looking back over the years that I spent, I'm not talking about my high school years. I'm talking about the adult years. Looking back over my life and seeing the people that was on the streets during the time that I was smoking crack cocaine, 85% of the time it was from trauma. Women um used crack because of they was raped or they was molested. Um some men used it because they had trauma that they never dealt with before, and they didn't know how to digest it or try to work through it. So, you know, back in the 80s when they came out with Just Say No, um, how can you just say no to
Yeah.
Addiction. Um,
Or to feeling better, right? It's like, yeah, people say, "Don't be anxious, don't worry." Like, okay,
right.
yeah, if I knew how to do that, I wouldn't be worried, I wouldn't be anxious. Yeah, it's like, those the substances make a person feel better right away. That's why people use them because they work to do what they're trying to do, which is feel different. So yeah, how do you just say no to that when you're in pain?
And it's, that was one of the worst sayings that came out for substance abuse. Oh, just say no. And it's like, have you ever tried crack cocaine? Have you ever tried cocaine? For you to come out to say just say no, it's the worst thing that I know for myself to like, okay, I said no today, but when I'm jonesing or somebody just hurt my feelings, what am I gonna use to like not feel? Because I don't want to feel.
Yeah.
Um, or if I can't pay my rent today and I'm finna get ready to be evicted, what am I gonna do besides using my tool that always make me feel I don't have to worry about it at this moment. So um that's the most important thing for me is knowing how to utilize without using drugs today.
Yeah. Yeah, right? How do you just it's so dismissive, like, just say no.
So
If you were talking to, like, high school kids, like, someone who was, like, in your position when you started using, um, what do you think would be, like, a better message to them about not getting into substances than just say no?
so for me, if I had to speak to a high school group of kids, I would not use just say no. I would ask them to look deep inside. What do you want to become tomorrow?
Mhm.
If you grew up overnight and you became a parent, what would you want to become? And how would you deal with becoming a parent? And, I use this $100, method.
Mhm.
If I take this $100 and I show it to them and it's a fresh $100 bill and everybody wants this $100 bill. So you got 100 people in the class, and when you wrinkle it up, those same 100 people want it. If you step on it, now maybe 45 people want it. If you throw it in the trash, maybe 25 people want it. But those same 25 people understand that you never lose your value. That $100 bill never lost its value. I tell individuals that, hey, even when you mess up, you still have value. You can't you cannot stop not having value. I'm like, so your main goal is to take what you done lost or what happened and rebuild it to make it a positive effect. And it works. So I can't tell nobody to stop drinking or don't. Peer pressure is one of the most important things in high school and
Yeah.
um in junior high school. So we have to learn how to educate our youth. We talk about prevention and most of all, share our stories for those that have been through it and hope that it hit home that they never have to go through what we went through.
Yeah, like sharing that story. But I think, yeah, if you know your value, if you really feel valuable, you're going to make
Yes.
different choices in life, even though it might not always be easy to make those choices. And you might still make a lot of mistakes. But if you feel like you have inherent worth,
Yes.
things are going to turn out different for you.
Yes. Yeah, of course. And that's why that $100 bill is the most important gift that I think can show youth that, hey, this same $100 bill that you wanted when it was fresh,
Yeah.
this same $100 bill that I stepped on and I threw in the trash and took it out of the trash, that same $100 bill has that same value. So no matter what you go through, you got pregnant at an early age, no matter what, you
Yeah.
still have value.
Yeah. It's
Um,
still $100.
it's
Yeah.
still $100.
Yeah.
So
What do you
yes.
think? What do you think is the reason? I'm thinking that that has to play into the reason why so many people go back to prison when they get out. In your opinion, the people that you've known, what do you think are the reasons why people tend to go back so often?
Dr. V, I'm going to tell you the truth. An individual don't have to go back to prison, but because of lack of resources, um, tangible, they go back to prison. Um, some people go back to prison because that's their comfort zone.
Mm,
I'm like, they're very comfortable. They don't want to take responsibility as a father, as a man in the community. And another reason why they go back to prison is because they don't feel um part of Juneteenth of 2020.
yeah.
I became a free man.
Yeah.
My last name is Freeman,
Yeah.
but I became a free man. Not because I walked out of prison doors, but because I was able to pay all my court costs. I was able, because of Amendment 4,
Yeah.
to register to vote.
Wow.
Now,
Yes.
now, guess what? I'm no longer a person that lives in the community. I'm a part of the community. I sit at the table because I feel like I'm a part of the community because I'm registered to vote. I can go and take part of who do I choose to be my local leaders. I'm not talking about the presidency or the governor. I'm talking about those that sit amongst us,
Yeah.
our our mayors, our our county city commissioners, our county commissioner, our school board. Imagine me just walking out of prison doors and never had the opportunity to feel like I'm a part of. I'm just there.
Yeah.
So as a free man, I have the right to sit at any table, whether it be for reentry, whether be for the ones that's unhoused, whether it's a policymaker for the county. I sit at the table because I need my voice heard because we have some voiceless people.
Yeah, we have a lot of voiceless people.
Yes.
And yeah, I think a lot of there's so much stigma of people who used to be in prison and that, people don't think about how much they can have to offer to
Yeah.
society and they don't feel like a part of society. And maybe you can tell everyone more about Amendment 4 and why that was so important.
So Amendment 4 gave us the opportunity as returning citizens to um the first Amendment 4, it was to give us the opportunity to vote. Well, our our governor said that it's better if they pay off their court costs and their fines before they be eligible to vote. But guess what?
Mm,
What it does is it open the doors that we'll clear all our records. You know, they say
mm,
I served my time, I'm free. Well, yes, you serve your time and you're free, but you still owe the clerk of the courts. So
mhm.
you're not free. You still have something in the court system.
I see.
So with Amendment 4 and what Governor DeSantis did made it possible that cleaning our record
Yeah.
completely, it just made me a totally free person. I don't have to look over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Um and it gave Amendment 4 gave 400,000 returning citizens the opportunity to vote.
To vote.
And
Yeah.
with that said, those individuals that's walking out of prison doors right now, paying off their fines and fees, they can vote. And one of the bills that I'm working on together is Department of Correction of the state of Florida does not pay us to be in prison to cook for 1,200 inmates
Yeah.
or to clean up the grounds to make it look nice when you all come and visit.
Yeah.
So, so what I'm trying to do is get Tallahassee to say, hey, listen, because we don't pay them, those that come in with court calls, court fines,
Yeah.
why not we turn those hours that they're working into community service? So
Yeah.
guess what? Now, with that said, now when we're walking out of prison doors, we don't have a huge financial deficit. Only thing we have to focus on is how do I get my license by paying a DC clearance or paying the fine that caused me to cause my license to be suspended. Sometimes it's like $80, $90.
Mm.
And in my case, I had 84 court costs and fines. So you're talking about over
Oh my
$10,000.
God.
But
Wow.
by the
Wow.
But by the grace of God, while I was incarcerated, I was smart. I started doing community service. I was hoping that the judge in Palm Beach County will acknowledge them,
Yeah.
and they did.
That's
So,
amazing.
so it was easy for me to pay off all my tickets or whatever I had in the DMV to get my license, and I'm grateful.
And I think that they should be doing that because that is labor. You are working. It's unpaid, but can't you pay back some of those court costs? I didn't have any idea about this. I think about, yeah, all the stuff you have to do when you get out, that you got to get a license, you got to get a job, or you got to find a place to stay, you got to get new clothes, like, you got to do all this stuff. Um, I never even realized that you still have to pay back all this
Yeah.
money that you owe the state or the county for the arrests or the tickets and stuff like that.
But just even going to court to just get sentenced to 5 years or 3 years. And people don't realize every time you go to court on a new charge, whether it's a misdemeanor, it's like $150. If it's a felony, it's maybe $350.
Wow.
So imagine a person. Not, I'm not going to use myself because I was arrested too many times. But imagine somebody was go to court. Um, they got arrested 5 times and then got sent to prison. So you got all of them are felonies. 350 times five.
Yeah.
You don't have a job.
You come
You
out, you
coming
can't
out.
vote, you can't get a license until you pay all that back.
Correct.
Wow. You come out with a bill
Yes.
after serving time,
Yes.
after your sentence, your punishment, doing what you were supposed to do, you come out with a bill.
Correct. And
Wow.
it's not a bill, a huge
A
bill.
huge bill. Maybe quickly you could tell me, like, how did this affect your family? Like, what you were going through?
So the first time I went to prison or the first time I got arrested, my loving mom, she was very supportive. She was there all the time. My grandmother, God bless her dead, she came to visit me while I was incarcerated. Um, that second time, the third time, the fourth time, my family said, "Listen, we're not doing this. We're finished. We're washing our hands." Imagine me. I had 3 kids,
Mm,
2 daughters and a son, not being in their lives, almost 20 some years. So it affected them very much.
yeah.
And, um, but like I said, the last time I got out of prison, um, I learned over 30, I got over 30 certificates. And one of the most important
Wow.
certificates that I got was parenting. And the facilitator that, taught the parenting class and how to be a man, um, Pastor J.R. Thicklin as well as Mrs. Burns, they told me 2 things about me trying to build a relationship with my kids. Listen, you can't push it.
Mm,
You got to let them grow to you.
yeah.
Same thing, same idea with my mom and my siblings. It's like they're not gonna believe you until they see it for themselves.
Yeah.
Today, today, hey, hey, William, I need help. Um, I got such and such person that need community service hours. I need. Don't you know somebody that's I'm that resource person that they use
Yeah.
today,
You're like
and
that
I'm
father
grateful.
figure, not
Yeah,
just to your own kids, but to all these people.
yes,
That's
and
amazing.
like I said, I was out of their lives, my kids' lives for almost 20 some years. Um, every year they celebrate my birthday with me.
Oh,
Um, you know,
yeah.
I enjoy their love. They text me, "Hey Dad, we love you, Pops." Matter of fact, for my birthday this year, they went and bought a I don't know I don't know if they telling me a story or not, but Miami Dolphin leather jacket.
Whoa.
And all 3 of them put together the funding to buy me a
Oh,
leather jacket for the Dolphins, and I'm grateful for my
that is
children.
special.
So yes,
That is so special. And and that you were able to repair it and that they were able to have that relationship with you, and that's really
yes,
truly amazing.
yes.
And like I said, you're like a father figure to a lot of people now too. What is it that you think makes you, people who've had the experience you have, the right people to help people who are getting out of prison make that transition, make their lives better?
So I'm gonna use you, V.
Yeah.
Um, I have a young I'm gonna use the female because you're female.
Mhm.
I have a young female that just walked out of prison doors and she needs support. What can you tell her if you never been there?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, like, call 211, find a nonprofit to help you,
correct.
feel good about yourself, like, but what more, right? I don't know.
Right. So, me being the right person is because I have done every single thing
Yeah.
that a person walking out of prison doors, not one time, but 4 different times. I'm like walking out of prison doors with no kind of services, walking out of prison doors with no kind of services, um, with a handout saying, hey, go to this place, go to that place. And then walking out of prison doors with reentry, where, my case manager, Ron Dixon, he was a very great, you know, very great because he made sure everything that I needed, I had. When you know, so I say that to say this right here,
Mhm.
that a person with lived experience
Yeah.
is the best person to walk hand in hand with any individual, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's mental health, whatever, whatever it may be,
Mhm.
is it's the most important thing, especially those that walking out of prison doors. We are the most I'm not gonna say successful, but
Yeah.
85%, 85% times when you have a peer that with lived experience walking hand in hand with someone, it's the most important thing in the universe. I'm like, peer support hasn't just started.
Yeah.
They did this, you know, they didn't call it peer support, they call it buddy buddy system when working in the factories building cars, the buddy
Mhm.
buddy system. So,
Mhm.
it's a great opportunity to be a certified peer, but most of all, it's great to walk hand in hand and see individuals successful move on after they walk out of prison doors by walking hand in hand with them.
Yeah. The fact that you've been through it, you've had every obstacle, you know what to expect, and I would also imagine, like, the shame and the stigma, that they don't
Yes.
feel that when they talk to you because they know that you've been it, and then the inspiration that anytime they think, "Maybe I can't make this happen," you look at you, you were able to go above and beyond.
Yes. And that's the most important thing, is to give them the confidence that, hey,
Yeah.
just because the bars, the gates had you for, whether it be 1 year, whether it be 5 years or 10 years, just because the gates and the bars had you, that doesn't define who you are today. I
Yeah.
with we're the most important part of a person
Mhm.
recovery or a reentry by doing such.
I
And I
absolutely agree.
and I apologize. I'm not on a laptop.
No, you know what? Absolutely. That you don't have to apologize for that. What's the most important thing is the message,
Yes,
honestly.
I truly appreciate it.
All right. Well, before we wrap it up, I've got actually like some rapid fire fun questions for you. They're going to be really quick. So don't think too much about it. I'm going to ask them to you and you just tell me the answer, okay?
You got it.
Okay, the first one is drums or flats, like the wings. Which
Drums,
yeah. Beach or mountains?
beaches.
Dark or light colors?
Oh, I love light colors.
Sunrise or sunset?
I'm waking up early in the morning to sunrise,
Nice. Texting or voice notes?
texting,
Alone time or people time?
alone time,
Cozy night in or dressed up night out?
cozy night in,
Head or heart?
my heart,
Mhm. Plan or spontaneous?
spontaneous,
And then the last one, safe or brave?
brave.
Yeah, I think that you are too. Yeah. I love that.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you, William, so much I think a lot of people can be inspired and just learn a lot from your story. And it's not just your story, it's the wisdom that you picked up along the way and along the way of helping others.
And I truly appreciate it, Dr. V, because you know if I had the opportunity to give out shout outs, it will be I give out a shout out to Rivera Beach Reentry,
Yeah.
working for them,
Yeah.
learning reentry. I give a shout out to Gulfstream Goodwill, working for the homeless, the
Mhm.
annex, then turning around working for their reentry program. But then the biggest shout out is to my advocate, my friend, my mentor, my supervisor on Rubber Recovery,
Mhm.
because she taught me how to be not just a leader, but also be a straight, strong peer. And I'm so grateful for those. But, as well as the board of people of purpose, because with all of the board of the people of purpose with their different backgrounds,
Mhm.
they all taught me something that to be effective in our communities, we have to have a great, a great program. You
Mhm.
know, one person told me Rolls Royce does not do advertising because they're not everybody can have them. Well,
Wow.
people of purpose do advertising because we want everybody to have what we have.
Yes.
Yeah. So
People need to know about it, and they need to know that there's hope out there for when they get out, when they're ready for it.
correct. And that's one of the main goals that I love about being on podcasts, to give
Yeah.
people the opportunity to know who we are, where we at, and what we're doing in the community.
Yeah, I want people to have empathy for people who are in prison, have been in prison, and drop that stigma.
Yes, please drop the stigma, because we we will be the best employee or the best friend that you ever have if you
Yeah,
give us the opportunity.
I believe that too.
Yes,
Well, thank you, and send me the detail. Just as I send me the details, April 30th. I want to come.
I definitely will send it
I
to you.
love that. Yeah, I'm gonna see you soon.
You got it. Thank you so much, and
Thanks.
we're looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, have a wonderful day, weekend too.
You do, you do the same. Bye-bye.
Thanks.